Guys, welcome back to AHC Garage. My name is Mike, and today we have another video on this 2001 Honda Prelude. Now, on the last video, we completely refreshed the replacement motor from top to bottom. Now, today's video, before we can put the motor back in, we need to get the engine bay refreshed or painted. I'm not sure what Brian and JC is gonna do, but what I'm gonna do is get this cleaned up so they can do the job. So here's the engine bay. As you can see, all the components are still there. Now, JC did mention that he might do a partial engine bay paint job. Meanwhile, Brian mentioned that he want to completely redo this. While they figure that out, I'm gonna go ahead and use my favorite product, Super Clean, to get this all cleaned up. Let's go ahead and get that started so you guys can see the result. And here's a closer look at the engine bay. So this is before. Now take a look at the frame rail here, shock tower, firewall, and now the opposite side here. And now we're gonna go ahead and spray her down with some Super Clean product here. And in just a little bit, you guys are gonna be able to see the result. And here's the end result with Super Clean. Looks really, really good. Now over here from factory, it didn't come with any paint. Now over here on this frame rail, it was really, really dirty. Take a look at the back side there. We almost don't even need to paint the firewall area there. So here's the final result. Now after cleaning, let's go ahead and get together with Brian and JC. Let's figure it out. What's our next step gonna be here?
Now we're gonna get this in a body shop and take it a step further and do a scuff clean with the Super Clean degreaser. Basically getting our rag into every nook and cranny and using our scuff pad to smooth out that paint. We don't need to completely primer this engine bay. We're gonna show you why later. If it's been painted before or if it hasn't been painted, all you need to do is give it a nice scuff. In this case, it's just a very light scuff and it's scuffing up the base coat. See, there's no clear coat in this engine bay at all. So it's very easy to scuff through the multiple layers that there is. Now, once we get it all into the body shop, we can move into getting everything masked up and get everything nice and covered and protected. Now, being that this is Juan's Prelude, he will go ahead and spray this entirely himself. Now, he's no stranger to helping out with engine baits in the past. He's helped out and scuffed and prepped many of them, but this is his first one getting his hands wet. Now the next step for Juan in his engine bay is getting some gray etching primer on his bare metal spots. The reason why he needs bare metal etching primer is because that will rust through to the top coat. It does not matter if he has a primer on there or if he has a base or a clear. It needs to be either an epoxy or an etching primer in order to hold down that metal. So this is a very, very important step in the process that cannot be missed. If you're doing this, this stuff is relatively inexpensive. A can of this etching primer, you can pick it up at the auto parts store, get it on all your bare metal. As soon as you see it, get it on there, because as soon as you touch it or air or oxygen gets to the bare metal, it will start to rust. You might not even be able to see it. So it's so important that you get that bare metal covered, because we don't want to do such a nice job and then what ends up happening is down the road it starts to bubble or rust. Now the next step up is not totally necessary, but we want the cleanest job possible. So we're using something called an anti-static gun. And what this basically is going to do is send a negative charge to the engine bay. It's going to de-static. We see we have a lot of plastic, we have a lot of paper, we have a lot of rubbing of our hands on the engine bay, building up and creating a static on the engine bay. Well, what does static do? Well, it's going to attract dust, dirt, and debris. So by de-staticking it, we're going to cleaner job. Now, the next step we're going to be doing here is actually the sealer. This is not the color, okay? This is not the color just yet. This is a blue sealer that's very similar. Now, what is a sealer? Well, again, basically a sealer is a primer that is not sanded. So there's no need to prime and sand your engine bay. You can go right into a sealer. By doing this, you can paint it and get a nice clean paint job without having to sand every nook and cranny, getting everything nice and dusty again. If you're looking for just a quick refresh like what we're doing here, a sealer will go a long way. Now, you're not going to be able to probably get a blue sealer unless you have the same exact color build system in your shop. So a gray sealer will be just fine for something like this if you want to get that done. So before we move on to the base coat, you're going to want to get the sealer down everywhere. The sealer only takes one coat coverage. With the one coat coverage, it's going to do a couple things. It's going to help you get a nice adhesion to the metal. So when a base coat goes on it, you're not going to have any chipping or any peeling. It's also going to save you on your paint. So you're not going to have to worry about putting 3 or 4 coats down. You literally could probably just cover it in one. Now, Juan's going to end up putting 2 coats of base down just because there's a lot of tight areas on these engine bays and you want to make sure you got that full coverage. So if you put 2 coats of base following the sealer that we're putting down now, then you should be good. Now, a lot of you guys might want to do this in your driveway. You can do this with rattle can. Honestly, it's a great alternative if you don't have a compressor or if you don't have paint. A compressor doesn't really cost too much. If you want to get a smaller 20-gallon one and a paint gun, then you could possibly just do this right in your driveway if it's something small, a small project. You can see here we didn't totally remove everything, but Juan is nimble enough to get in there and to get all those little tight areas. That's going to be your biggest struggle with engine bays, getting into the tighter areas and being able to handle and manipulate the paint gun in such a way that you're able to get a nice coat of paint on those tight areas without building it or running it. So just keeping the paint gun moving is ideal in this type of situation. You can see there's a lot of technique that goes into it, but fast moving is the #1 way to not get a run on any of these types of bolt holes, these bars, or anything that's in the engine bay that could be a little bit tricky to paint. So you can see how well that base coat covers. This is Electron Blue Pearl. We see this a common color back in the older Honda days. It's a beautiful, iconic color on the Prelude here, and it's the correct color. Now, this car had been repainted before, but it just wasn't the right shade. So once we get to painting this car in the future, we're going to restore it to the proper shade that you see here in the engine bay, and it's going to have that OEM look like it did when it was just painted in the factory. Now, this was a clear coat that was never used in the factory. From the factory, they just spray on some base and they left it at that. So it's getting the OEM plus, we like to call it, because now when the guys drop the engine back in, we're going to get some oil on some of the chassis. It's going to be able to wipe right off. It's going to look great. It's going to protect the engine bay for the lifetime of the vehicle. It's just the way to do it. Clear coat is the way to do it. If you wanted to go OEM, you'd probably just use the base coat. You'd put some hardener in it and you'd leave it at that. But at this point, we have removed as much as possible. This is a budget build, so almost everything is removed. Juan has done a fantastic job of painting his engine bay It's looking good here, and he's done 2 coats. He will do 2 coats of the clear coat, and once he's done with that, then we'll pass it back to the guys. We'll start putting in all the hoses, and then eventually drop that engine right down in, and we'll see exactly how it looks. So let's go ahead and let Juan finish up here. We'll take a look and then pass it back to the guys in the shop.
And guys, here's the final result of these Honda Prelude's engine bay Electron Blue Pearl. Super pretty under the engine bay. Now I'm gonna pan out to the rest of the vehicle. Yeah, it does look like it needs some work, but let's focus back on the engine bay. We started to put some of the stuff back together, the harnesses and things like that. TJ, what else are we gonna do?
I think right now, before we start getting the motor back in, we're gonna do the clutch master cylinder because we have all the space here, and that way we don't get any of the brake fluid on the motor and stuff like that. We're gonna put back the VSA modulator and bolt all that back down. I think we're gonna do the AC system and get all that taken care of before we get the motor back in, and then we'll start getting all this tape off of here. We are gonna change the fuel filter, which is down there, while we have all the space. That should be easier before we do that. And then we're gonna throw in our condenser and our radiator, stuff like that, get that out of the way, and then put the motor back in, put the subframe in, and just start plugging everything in.
And like TJ said, we're gonna go ahead and start off with our clutch master cylinder. Got this hard line that we try to break loose. A little bit of rust on there, but able to break it loose there. So once we finish up here, we move on to the inside. Well, couldn't really show you guys from the inside, but it's way up there. And here are the 2 nuts. One of them is the factory 12, the other one has some sort of aftermarket nuts there. Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go, guys. Clutch master cylinder.
Here.
What just happened here? Let me see the flashlight. What? Dude, the whole thing just hanging there. Okay, so here's the new master cylinder. We are going with an Exedi clutch master. Also got 2 new OEM nuts here to replace the 2 that's in the car. Swap over the reservoir and the hose there.
Yeah, we won't clamp it to the metal though.
What are you talking about?
The hose clamp was on the actual metal part here, it wasn't on the hose. All right, let me hold this up and then you slide it through.
Okay. Right there.
Good?
Yep.
All right.
And now all we gotta do is finish up the hard line and then mount up the reservoir. We're gonna take care of some of these grounds. We have one over here, one here. We gotta take care of our horn because this is the ground for the horn. We have a couple more grounds there, and one right up here that we just finished. So we got a driver side rail all mounted up, the ABS. We got all the wirings, we got all the brackets down here, the power steering reservoir, this portion completely done. Now we're gonna move on to this portion before the evaporator. We're gonna go ahead and swap out our rear engine mount. It's gonna make our life a lot easier changing it now. And what do we have? This is the stock one. And the one that we are switching out is
1320.
this is solid.
Extra vibration.
So here's the stock mount with the damper on top, and here's the extra vibration mount. Is it what you call it?
Extra vibration.
Check out the entire set, JC. Not sure what he was thinking.
The only ones that they had.
Oh God, I don't know, man. So next thing we're gonna work on is our fuel filter, because once the motor go back in, it's gonna be quite tough to get to. It's sitting like right over here. You're gonna go ahead and break loose the line first. Oftentimes this filter don't ever get changed because it's just so out of place. It's tucked right in this corner here. It might be the very first fuel filter. So just loosen up the line right now. We got another 17 here, and then a 10 that hold this right here. Then we go ahead and remove that fuel filter. There you go. We got a little bit of blue in it, and it's completely dry. Oh, can't really tell if it's dirty or not. But yeah, there's a fuel filter here. So got a factory OEM filter here. Also come with these washer here. Lock here. And while we're here, we go ahead and replace our slave cylinder.
Not much there.
What happened to that rod?
I don't know. JC probably took it out and threw it in the garbage.
Oh, yeah. That'll do. That'll do to you.
I think he painted it blue, so he didn't want to keep it anymore.
And we're gonna go with same thing, Excetti. So we finally get down to the AC evaporator. All we did is pull down the glove box here. Very, very similar to a B series or like a EGEK and also Integra. This bracket right over here behind the glove box has to come off, and move the harness out of the way, and a couple of screws. The entire evaporator case should come out.
Yeah.
There you go, guys. So if you do an evaporator for the first time, you actually have to cut that plastic trim out of the way. Then you can access the evaporator.
You got the gun?
Yeah.
So now Mike got the case out from the interior, and all we got to do is pop all these clips off all the way around. It's just like we did on the EM1 and the Integra. And then we'll be able to separate the case and pull out the evaporator.
Oh,
Nice.
oh.
Let's put that looks like there was a rat living in here. Let's pull out these nice AC filters.
Wow. Look at those. Those might be the original one.
Man, look what you were breathing in. Nice.
Just come up from right here. I think just leave it on the case. I don't think we got any new filters, so we might have to order some new ones for it. I guess in the meantime, we can go ahead and swap out our core. Put this out. Let's go ahead and pull the whole thing out. There you go. Go ahead and clean this up. All right, so this is one of the pipe that we're going to reuse. Yep.
Oh my.
All of that good stuff that was inside the AC system. Talking about contamination. What the heck is all this here? It's like a little pellet.
You think that's from the dryer bag?
Or we can... Even that got restriction.
Blow it back.
Look, look, look. All the stuff's still there.
They're stuck in there. Blow it the other way.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and flush out this line here. Back to the new evaporator. Oh man, this thing's stuck in there.
It's this one here.
There you go. All right, so that is out of the way. Gotta put a new O-ring
Oh, no, I think it's
in there. Is it there?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a big one here.
Here's our new aftermarket evaporator. It is a brand new unit. OEM's not available anymore. We will pair that with a brand new expansion valve. Let's go. Got an O-ring. Let's go ahead and loop that, and we're gonna go ahead and install our expansion valve here. There you go. And where is our new tape?
Right here, I got it right here.
Oh, right there. Alright. Now the expansion valve is nicely insulated. So the evaporator is all good to go. We got to hold off on the cabin filter, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and put the back together. Hold on. Am I in?
Yeah, push.
Huh?
Yeah, push.
So evaporator is all finished up. Next up, we're gonna mount up our AC condenser. Nice. Put our bracket here. To the front. Okay, next up we're gonna move on to our receiver dryer. Next up is our radiator. We're going to be reusing our Mishimoto aluminum radiator. Still very, very good condition. Man, that thing's chunky, man. Put on our headlights. All right, front bumper is going back in. That. Slowly and surely coming back together. go. Well guys, we pretty much got the engine bay all buttoned up. We started off cleaning out our engine bay with super cleaner, and we got the entire bay prepped up. Then Brian JC got the engine bay nice and painted, and we're able to put everything back together and get ready for our next video, which is putting back our H22 motor in this Honda Prelude. Be sure to stay tuned, subscribe, give us a like, and drop a comment, and we'll see you guys again next week.